Welcome back to my kitchen. I am Sharice, your Pampered Chef. I am here for What You Cooking Wednesday. I've got dinner kind of already done, and I'm going to show you a little snack that I'm going to make for later. And actually a snack I made earlier that we might have later. But let me show you what I made for dinner. First, a little housekeeping. So if you haven't been here before with me, make sure you say hello, or even if you have been here with me before, say hello. I love to know who's joining in. And if you're watching the replay, comment replay so that I know you checked in later on. Also, feel free to share this video with your friends. You never know what they might need for their kitchen, or might need a good idea for a gift or for the holidays. So we're gonna get started. So I want to show you my dinner is actually already done. Gotta put on my oven gloves here. Love these things because I just took it out of the oven. These are so great. Great thing about these is that it has this little strip right here. So you know how you grab things like that, it's always kind of exposed. You're not gonna have that. And don't worry if they're too big. These really don't bother me that they're too big. They're so much easier to handle things this way with the gloves, so my fingers can kind of move around than the big oven mitts. So I already made dinner. Here's our dinner. I used our stainless steel saute pan. Love this thing. So I like it for this dish. I made our Mexi bake. It's a recipe I've had. I'm not sure if I learned it from my mother or my grandmother. And it's kind of evolved over the years with my kids. But it's a real simple dish, but I love it. Make it in this dish, or you can make it in the 12-inch nonstick skillet, whether it's the Brilliance or our signature nonstick. Is because these pans are oven safe, so I can brown the meat and everything in it, and then put it in the oven. So what it is, it's ground beef. You can also use ground turkey. I put a can of rinsed and drained black beans in it after the meat is cooked. About a cup or so of corn. You can also use a can of Mexicorn and a jar of salsa. And then I season it with, my favorite is the Southwest seasoning and the chipotle. I do a tablespoon of each for a pound of meat. So I want it really spicy because I want it that those extra seasonings are going to go into the other food as well. But generally, about a tablespoon of our seasoning to a pound of meat. So because of corn and black beans in there, I want extra seasoning. So these are my two favorite, but you can also use everything taco. That works out just as well. And then I mix up our sweet cornbread, and I add that to the top. Oh, I forgot, there's a little layer of cheese after I mix the salsa and all the seasonings with the meat. I put a little bit of layer of cheese, and then I mix in the cornbread. Now you can also, I've also done it where I put the corn in with the cornbread instead of putting it in with the meat. Whatever works for you, okay? But this is like a super easy weeknight meal. Literally, it takes me 10 minutes the most, brown the meat, put everything together. Because while the meat is browning, I'm mixing up this cornbread. Heat up your oven, and then I bake it right in here, one pan. I'm a one-pan mama. I love one-pot meals. They are my go-to. So these seasonings make it super easy. Our pantry items, and I am talking all about pantry items tonight because they're 15% off, unlimited. You can buy as many as you want. Stock up now while they're on sale. This doesn't happen that often that our entire pantry line is on sale. So that's our dinner tonight, okay? But to go with this, let me put this back on the stove here. I don't need these for that, but I just put it over here. I also made up some guacamole. So you might not think that guacamole is a weeknight thing, but I smashed up two avocados with this is our mix and masher here. I love it because it's like a spoon and mashes it all up. So 2 avocados with 2 tablespoons of guacamole mix. That, you can't get any easier than that, okay? So we've got fresh guacamole on a weeknight, all right, to go with our Mexi bake. Easy peasy, you can't go wrong. All right, so that's the pantry items that I use for tonight. Now we're gonna go on to some other things. Let me move some stuff out of the way. There we go. move the guacamole. There we go. All right, so I want to talk about some other favorites of mine, some of my go-tos, which are the garlic and herb. Like, you just can't go wrong. It goes with everything on chicken. If you're doing meat, steak, or pork, even chicken, this crushed peppercorn and garlic is kind of like a Montreal seasoning. Perfect. I love it. And then bell pepper rub, I put this in all of my tuna salad, chicken salad, egg salad even. It's really versatile. And then the 3 onion rub, great for burgers. One of my favorites for burgers. So these are kind of my must-haves all the time. Besides the chipotle and the Southwest seasoning, must-have all the time. All right? Because I just use them on so many different things. So let me get rid of that. I'm going to show you some things that we made. This is our pop and stir. So we're going to kind of go now into a mode of what can we make to give away as gifts, right? Do you like to make gifts and give them away, like food gifts? I do. So this is our electric pop and stir. You can make popcorn with it. It has this bowl top right here. So you put your oil in there, your popcorn. Then you take this little cap off. There we go. And you put some butter on top here. It's got little holes. Can you see that? Can you see our little holes? So while the popcorn is popping, that butter is like melting down into there, okay? And you just has a popcorn setting, and then you turn it on until it kind of slows down the popping, 1 or 2 seconds in between popping. And it's done. So what you can do then, you put this little, once it's ready, you put this little top back on, twist it to lock it. Then you lift this up, all right? Flip it over. This part can be hot, okay, when it's cooking. And then all of my popcorn is right in here, ready to go, a bowl to eat it in. How about that? Easy peasy, right? All right, so that's for popcorn. But let's talk about making some gifts that you can give away. One of my favorites is these sugared or candied nuts. So usually I make them with sugar, cinnamon, vanilla. The recipe's right here in the quick start guide for it, as well as the popcorn information. But, and then a little bit of salt, okay? And 2 tablespoons of water. So what I did is I kind of mixed it up. I want to try something different. When we came out with this salted vanilla dessert mix, I used this instead of sugar in my mix, and I didn't use cinnamon. So I made these yummy little, can you see them? I did a combination of pecans and almonds, and they're so yummy. You're going to want to keep eating them. So I did use vanilla. If you're using our double strength vanilla, make sure you only use half a teaspoon. The recipe goes for a teaspoon. Use half a teaspoon because it is double strength. You only use half as much. This as well as our cinnamon, our Korinji cinnamon and Cinnamon Plus are only seasonal, available while supplies last. So stock up now for your year of baking, okay? The salted vanilla dessert mix is also seasonal and while supplies last, but they're both on sale, okay? 15% off. This I've also used to mix with yogurt to chip fruit in. I mixed it with Cool Whip, also for fruit or apples. It's so delicious, okay? So this, I put the ingredients in here, turn it to nuts, because there's a popcorn setting and a nut setting. Turn it to nuts and let it go until it gets kind of this kind of grainy, sandy kind of looking. Can you kind of see? I don't know. All right. So delicious. I posted a little video of my stories, and I'll post a video here of what they looked like when they were just about done and they were turning in here. So that's a gift that you can make. You can bag that up and give it away to teachers. They'll love it, okay? All right, what's next? Let's make up, before I go on to something else here. Whew, it's getting hot. We're gonna make up one of my, this snack is so dangerous. I have to stop making them because I'll eat them all right? So we're gonna put this in here real quick. We're gonna put in 2 cups, give or take a cup and a half, give or take, of these pretzel goldfish, all right? I grab these when they're on sale. I think it's probably the whole bag. Here, just about what's left of the bag. Yeah, we'll go through for it. There we go. Now I'm going to use my garlic oil and my Parmesan garlic seasoning, okay? So where I use the water to make the nuts, we're using oil. So I have 2 tablespoons of garlic oil. Now you can use regular oil with this and then use another kind of seasoning. But I use the garlic with the garlic parm because it really just makes it so good. Then you need a tablespoon. If you remember, the inside rig there is a tablespoon measurement. All right. But, you know, measure with your heart. Because if you like garlic, you might want a little extra. I do. All right. And then we're going to turn this on. Now we're going to watch it because sometimes these like to pop out. So the little wire thing goes around. Have your little spatula ready. If they climb the sides or they pop out, you're just going to pop them back in there. All right. So that's going to kind of go while we're doing. Now, I don't want to use pretzel goldfish, oyster crackers. Who likes the dill oyster crackers? You can buy them sometimes. These you make them in the oven, a big batch of them. This makes a small batch, 2 cups versus doing a big sheet pan. But the dill and the oyster crackers are so delicious. Speaking of this dill mix, who went to McDonald's and got the Grinch Happy Meal with the Grinch salt? All right, that vinegar salt. Some people are just loving it. Well, they sold out of those packets so fast. And everybody's like, I want more of that Grinch salt. Guess what, guys? Mix our all-purpose dill seasoning with the salt and vinegar seasoning. Boom. You've got your Grinch salt. So good, all right? So making oyster crackers or even these pretzel fish, you can do them with the dill. Some of my other favorites are the crunchy garlic crisp seasoning. For those that like spicy, the honey sriracha is really good. And also our creamy jalapeno. So delicious. It gets you so many different flavors. I mean, you could put little bags, tester bags, and put like a whole bunch of different snacks together for somebody to try. So this is really starting to smell yummy. You'll kind of notice it just kind of as it's stirring, it's getting all covered and coated. This will probably take, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. You just want them to look crispy and make sure that all that seasoning, because right now there's a little bit of the seasoning, you can see it kind of down in here. All the seasoning will get onto these crackers, so you just kind of let it go, all right, until it looks about done. It's a little harder to tell with the nuts. You know that they kind of get that sandy kind of look to them, and then they're done. This is a little bit harder. You see they're kind of stacking up and they want to fly out of here. So the same thing, when you're doing the oyster crackers or pretzel goldfish, you could even do regular cheddar goldfish with the dill seasoning. Those are good too. You could just mix and match and try all kinds of different things. But it's basically 2 cups of the cracker, whether it's the goldfish or the oyster cracker, a tablespoon of seasoning, and 2 tablespoons of oil. You could even try, like if you want to make pizza ones, try our spicy pizza oil with our everything but the pizza seasoning. I mean, I think the kids would go crazy for those. All kinds of different flavors. The kids can help them with this. It's just fun. It's really fun. And these ones here, I can tell you right now, they're addicting. And the dill oyster crackers, so good. So you got to be careful. That's why I make them up and give them away, right? So those are some of my favorite pantry items. Again, our entire line of pantry items, whether our oils, our seasonings, our sauces, our mixes, all of our bread mixes, all 15% off. Do you have a favorite pantry item from Pampered Chef? Drop it below and let me know. And tell me how you use it. What do you use it for? One of my favorite Christmas things to make is use cream cheese. I'll have to show you guys. It's take a cream cheese block, slice it diagonally, and then arrange it like a tree and pour some of the habanero, the raspberry habanero sauce over the top of it. So good with cheese and crackers. You could put a little pretzel or a couple pretzels at the bottom for the base of the tree, and a little pepper, cut out a star shape or a pepper, and put that on the top. So good. And that, you won't have any of that dip left, okay? Cream cheese and raspberry habanero. Or you can try it with the pineapple rum sauce. Both are delicious. So, mix and match all of our pantry items, 15% off. You don't want to miss this sale. If you have any questions about anything, or maybe you have a seasoning, you're not sure what to use it for, let me know, and I will get you a recipe or and some ideas to go with it, all right? Hope you all have a great week. I will see you one more time this month, next Wednesday. Enjoy your week. I'll talk to you then. Bye.